time, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the
Hello.
Win Me. Child, I got it all messed up because y'all know I'm doing so many different programs. I don't know where I am tonight. I just know. Look at Tammy. Girl, listen, we are here talking about I Love Her. That's all I'm going to say. Whatever program this is what we're doing tonight. We're talking about all of the lovely ladies who are part of the I Love Her anthology that is spearheaded by the visionary herself, Dr. Sparkle, Taneka Osborne. And we have, it's 11 total ladies who are part of this project. So, of course, everybody can't be here tonight, but for the ladies who are, we are about to talk to you about, honey, loving yourself. So, ladies, how are you tonight?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes,
Good, good.
glad to be here.
Glad to be here. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Because, honey, it's Wednesday. Y'all know it's Winning Wednesday, Wonderful Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesday, honey. And all of those things apply to you. So when you're thinking about I Love Her, it is about embracing. You saw Tammy a minute ago give herself a hug. So, ladies, just to represent the I Love Her movement, go ahead and hug yourself.
Yes,
And if you're watching
sweetheart,
virtually, baby,
sweetheart.
give you a hug to yourself right now.
Mhm.
See, Tammy's
I
been
love
around
it.
me
I
way
love
too
it.
Look, I
long.
didn't
I
want to
can
let
already
go.
tell. She
I
already
know,
know
right?
the first instruction is the hug. I love her.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. And welcome, Tina. How are you?
Good evening. Hi.
We're
I'm
glad
fine.
to see you in
Just
the
coming
place
from
to
work.
be.
You're
So
good,
yes,
girl.
I see Kelly Barnes is saying hello. So yeah, I'm multitasking, but listen, just bear with me. Tina, I done messed up, girl, and forgot what show I'm on and what I'm all I knew was I'm talking to I Love Her. So that's all that mattered, right?
And we love her.
Yes, we love her. So listen, we know that Dr. Sparkle has came up with this amazing concept. And with that being said, Sparkle, let you kick it off and let the people know what is the I Love Her movement all about.
Well, it's about so much, but I'm gonna just give you a little clips. But I Love Her is about taking control of who you love and not passing out I love hers to everybody in the whole entire world and never passing back a I love her, I love me, I love you to anyone, to yourself. You remember everybody you see, you say, yeah, girl, I love you, have a good one. You get off the
Mhm.
phone, love you. But you never stop and say, I love me. Like, I love you, girl. Girl, I love you. I'm proud of you. I thank you for going after that. Or, girl, you didn't handle that correct. Let's go back and redo that. It's bringing awareness to yourself. You don't need anybody else to correct you. When you know yourself, you was in the wrong, you was in the right, or whichever one. But it is to give awareness to learn how to treat yourself, what you deserve and what you don't deserve. Because it's a lot of things that we have put up with that we did not deserve. But it happened. So what? It happened. So forgive yourself and say, fast forward. You remember back in the day they had those cassette players. You could hit fast forward when you didn't want to hear that
Yes,
song no more. So when it's
right.
something you don't want to hear no more, you hit that fast forward and say, girl, let's keep on going. So I Love Her is all about taking a moment, taking 15 minutes, taking 20 minutes, or however long you need to get you together before you step out and do some stuff that you know you don't have no business doing. But loving on yourself, congratulating yourself, and embracing yourself.
That
And
is
I
amazing.
cannot do this movement. Like what I realized is I was working really hard on
Mhm.
I Love Her. And you can't do life alone. You cannot finish
True.
God's assignments just you. I don't know whether it's independent. I'm an independent woman and I don't need nobody. I don't whoever came up, what was that Beyonce? Whoever did that. and she went home to a whole man every day with a whole group that did backup dancing and all that. But she said, "You're an independent woman," and we took it and ran with it. So I'm just here to try. We're here to reverse those curses.
I understand. And I'm glad that you brought out all those points, because at the end of the day, for women, it is really hard sometimes, y'all. You know, when you are going through life, and as they say now, life be lifing, right? When life starts lifing, things start happening. And for a lot of us, it is from childhood. It's not something that just popped up, you know, in your 20s or 30s or 40s. And for some of us in your 50s, it is something that may have started in childhood. It could have been a result of, you know, maybe your father wasn't in your life, or maybe you were rejected by somebody, or maybe you thought, you know, you should be further along in life. Whatever that looks like, maybe you started off and maybe, you know, you would just look cute, little, you know, when you were little, you was cute and chunky until you got into school and they started making fun of you. And then you start thinking like, you know, I don't like how I feel in the skin that I'm in. So many women have so many things that have triggered us to not love ourselves. So I think it's so important. And I think that it is just very good right now that you are bringing this to the forefront of I love her, because her is you, her is me, her is she. So don't get it twisted. We say I love her to my girlfriends and my friends and my sisters and all that, but I love her is talking about loving yourself, because we deal with low self-esteem. We deal with low self-worth. We deal with low self-respect. We deal with low self-confidence. We deal with all of the selfisms that we have inflicted upon ourselves. But we're trying to tell you today, break out of the mold of not loving who she is. Look in that mirror every day and be proud of where you are right now. You may not be where you want to be, but I venture to say that there's not too many people who are where they want to be, because we're all works in progress. We're not perfect people. So you're never going to get that check on the box like, boom, I'm right where I want to be at. Because it's going to be something that you're going to say, if I had a little more time, a little bit more money, if I had a little bit of this, that, and the third, I would, right? So I'm going to go around and we're going to tap into these amazing ladies and find out a little bit about what made them become part of that project. And even though you're sipping, Tammy, I was coming to you first, so I'm just going to let you know. Let's go ahead.
Well, hey family, I'm Tammy. So wonderful to be connected to this global, powerful platform and amazing women that have already jumped on board, understanding how important love is. I go by the World Motivator, and one of the things that I absolutely took the opportunity to jump on this anthology and movement is because it's so important that in the midst of the stuff of life, because life, like you say, be lifing, it distracts us and it causes us to look at the weeds and forget about self-worth. Yes. I'm a middle child and I'm a PK. And so all of my life has been a servant to other people. It wasn't, I didn't meet myself until my 40s. I didn't. Thank you, Spark. I'm seeing a whole, just y'all. We're not even talking about the nations of women that are all going to watch this and go, oh my God, somebody understands. It takes a lot to first have service in your life, in your heart, even unwelcome. I was born into it. But even more than that, growing to a point where you acknowledge, you know, all that I'm giving other people, man, I deserve this. I want what I see everybody else having. Yes. And not just do I want it, but making a decision. Come on, Sparkle, that I'm going to do this thing out loud and on purpose, man. I'm going to chase it. I'm going to pursue like my last breath. I always tell folks when they say, Angela and I know we talk often, but when they say, man, you on 1,000, you in everything. When do you have time to? I say, you know what? I'm leaving this earth empty.
Empty.
That part.
Yes.
I want, if it's a book, I want to do it. If it's a show, I want to do it.
I want to do it.
Connecting with folks, I want to do it. When I made the decision.
Ty Tribbett said, I want it all.
Yes.
I see everybody else doing it. Why not me?
Yes.
One day my husband said that when I was approached about doing a TV show, and I said, babe, no, I can't do that. You know, it's this is esteem. all of the, I didn't feel worthy. And he looked at me and he said, you know, you're talking about all your friends and all the people that you coach and counsel who are celebrities. Why can't you be the celebrity?
Mm.
Come
Yeah,
on,
to
husband.
bring it to your attention.
When now he's been my best friend, so he knows me in and out. But when I decided to embrace the concept, not that I had to be somebody by man's, but that I want everything with my name attached to it, it made me really learn the action word of love.
Yes, it's an
And I
action.
don't want to take up this platform. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing from everybody else. But you guys, what I want to just leave is a thought with folks that no matter what the situation looks like, how hard it might be, how hot it might feel, how lonely it might be, you could be surrounded by people and feel alone. No matter what it is that you're dealing with, understand this: you deserve to be
You.
loved. If you didn't ever get it before, you're never too old to start getting it right now. Then that's from other people and you loving you. And that's a work in itself, because y'all know I'm a little crazy. I got my own issues. And so just dealing with me is a 24-hour job. Nevertheless, listen, y'all better talk to my husband. I'm trying to tell you, he got his hands full. But once we get to the point where we embrace all the greatness about us, it's different. I want to end with this. One of the things, Angela, part of her excellence as a publisher is having you read your work before it finally is released. Reread it. Make sure it's perfect for edits. And I actually took a moment and reread my chapter. And I want to share a wow factor I had when I read my chapter. I actually went, wow. There's a statement in it that I don't know where it came from, but I put it in the chapter. And I want to share this with somebody. It says, you deserve to win at life with the whole world watching.
With the whole world watching. We can end the show now. We can end.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
I'm trying to tell you, when
Like,
I saw
amen.
that,
Let
I
the
actually
church say
sat back and
amen.
was like, wow. Thank you, God, for reminding me that I'm worth it. So
Yes.
I'm on this journey, this movement, not just because I believe in sisterhood. Women holding women is too important. Listen, I'm a real housewife. I mean, we got to hold each other up. You know, we have to hold and support and push. Come on, girl, go get it. Go do it.
Yes.
We got to be that for other women. So that's one of the big reasons why I'm grateful for this. Because for a long time, I didn't like women. After my friend messed with my, okay. So that got me to a point where healing and loving myself became a real journey. And I just want to encourage folks, don't neglect the worth of you. You are so important to the earth right now. You are so valuable right now. It all starts with understanding that you deserve it.
Yep. Amen.
powerful. Listen, honey.
Yes.
These are
Yes.
Thomas of the Power Up Show on the We Empower Network. You see why her husband said you need your own show, be your own
Yes.
celebrity. Because bottom line, it is something so powerful when you tap into you. I'm telling you, if you believe in God, then you
If
know
you do.
that the God is inside of you. And so, how can we not love who we are? How can we not love her? Because in actuality, when we don't, we're actually saying, God, is something wrong with what you created. And if I'm not mistaken, from the Bible that I've been brought up on and that I read all the time, it said when he made anything, he was like, and it is good, right?
And it is good.
And it is good. So
Wonderfully
you
made.
have to, girl, you have to get that in your spirit that I don't care that you may not like it. And to be honest with you, do you really not like it? Or somebody just said something that made you think about it twice? Because when you were a small child, you didn't run around here and say, oh, I don't like this and oh, I don't like that. You didn't know any better. It was only until somebody said something that made you think, oh, I didn't realize my nose was like that. Or I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize, I
When they
got
kept on talking about that big nose.
I thank you, or a big behind, or big boobs, or what, you know what I'm saying? Big, whatever that is. If you were a cute little kid doing your thing, you just want to be out here, honey, loving life and living life to the fullest. You weren't looking at yourself saying, oh, I can't go outside because these shorts are too tight. I don't want to go out there, until somebody made you feel uncomfortable with who you were. So when you look at it, we absorb other people's opinions that cause us to not love ourselves. Regina, I'm gonna let you take it next.
Good evening, everybody. I'm super excited to be here. I'm truly honored to be in this platform with you,
You try to do
queens.
this with a soft voice like this. Like,
Oh, you
girl,
Hey,
I'm
see
sorry.
how? Don't let it.
We have to tell
I'm
like
sorry.
the quiet stuff. Hello, my name is Regina Hud, and I just want to let you know.
Yes!
Okay, Regina. Don't make me create another platform. Y'all know I do it, girl. Don't let me get after dark on y'all.
Okay. Hey, you know what
Okay,
our sister
okay.
Perry
I'm
says? Be on your best behavior.
Okay, okay.
okay.
I'm
Okay.
on my best behavior. But I truly honor y'all. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. But yeah, I'm truly honored. I'm blessed to be in this space. In fact, it's ironic that where I'm on the show, getting ready to talk about what I'm talking about, because over dinner I was having a discussion, and it brought me to a point to where my first, per se, part of me of why I didn't love her, and it kind of brought back like things that I had forgot about. And I'm conversating this over dinner tonight, and it just like, wow, like for real, like you girl, you didn't made it out. Like it didn't even seem possible to even be in a position that I'm in on today. Like I was just living day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. And so to really know how to truly love yourself, and I didn't love myself because there was a lot of guilt, and the guilt overweighed to where I didn't feel like I was worthy of love. And that's what kept me from it. I felt that maybe if I just humble myself enough and just deal with the guilt, because there are some things I put myself in positions. And so if I'll just deal with it, and then I'll humble myself. But during that time, I wasn't even loving myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm pushing myself lower and lower and lower and lower. And it feels like you're sinking. But I'm truly thankful that I'm out of the pit. And yes, like Tammy was saying, I had been in my 40s, probably in my 40s, where, all up until I got to my 40s, where reality was just hit me like, you got a problem. Like, you really got a problem here. Like, you shouldn't be in the same position at 40 years old, carrying all this baggage and drama in your head and replaying it, or little things would trigger you. And then it sets you right back with this horrible feeling inside. You're smiling on the outside, but you're really ready to explode. And I didn't like that. And I didn't like to where I can get around certain people. And 5 minutes was too long for me. Literally 5 minutes around certain individuals was too long for me, to the point to where I could feel myself inside boiling. I had to go. I feel like I was suffocated. And it's because I didn't allow myself to heal and truly love myself properly. And a lot of times we focus on everybody else to give us that love. That's not going to happen. We have to literally learn to love ourselves. We're giving all this love out that everybody enjoys, but we forget to give the love that they enjoy so much to even give it to our own doggone self. And we live with it. It's us. And hey, I'm selfish. I never used to be, but I'm selfish. I love everything about me, from the good, the bad, and the ugly. I really love it. Like, you know what? I ain't that bad. I'm kind of hot here now. When I start looking at it, like, dang, no wonder why everybody was over here trying to hate.
Baby, big B.
I didn't even realize it. Yeah.
Right. I didn't realize, like, man, I'm really that good. That's really, when you really love yourself, you start looking at yourself like, dang, girl, you fine, girl. Ooh, I feel good. Or, yeah, what? I am somebody. Shoot, I'm the best. You start talking to yourself like that. And you know what? It's the truth.
You talk to
It's the
yourself more
truth.
than you talk to others. You like,
Yeah, girl.
I tell people all the time, if my grandmama was still around, she would say I am crazy completely, because I stay talking to myself. I stay in the mirror talking to myself. In the car, I'm having a full conversation with me. Because at the end of the day, the results of whatever happens, guess who got to deal with it? Don't nobody else got me. So whether it's good or bad, I'm the one that's going to have to reap it.
But Sparkle, the truth is, the most important conversation you can have is what you say to you.
Mhm.
You're going, do you listen more to the noise and the opinions?
Yeah.
Oh, can I tell you, when you learn how to let folks and their opinions go, it's a whole
Woo!
other freedom.
Woo,
It,
baby.
it's like you're not even heavy no more. It's like you forget that you a little overweight. You got some extra pounds on you.
You be
When
like, baby,
you
it's more of me
forget
to
that.
love, baby. It's more of me to love. Look, I'm telling you, it clicks in at 40 because at 40 you make a decision like I'm not getting ready to keep on being bothered with y'all. By the time you hit 50, you really be like, girl, I wish you would, because I could care less. Baby, I'm close to 60, baby. Listen, at 60, I'm gonna be like, girl, y'all
And
better
you
not
fine
love
and
me.
fine at 60, girl. I
Nothing.
mean,
You
I'm
hear
a
me?
60.
Listen, it's all about where you are in life and you making a decision because it's a daily decision. I mean, it's
Yeah.
some days, just like
To
some days you feel
minute,
like rolling out of
hour.
bed. It's a girl. Thank you, Sparkle. For sometimes it's hour by hour, minute by minute. You have to make a choice to say that I am that one. I am that girl. I am. And I'm Nicole, I was going to come to you, but because I said that, I'm going to go to Tina because Tina has a podcast that says, You See Me.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start looking at the me inside of you. You got to start seeing who you are. And for some of us, you need to see the little girl that maybe you left behind because you were too busy out doing something else, or you just left her there thinking like, oh, it's too much baggage. And so you know how I used to watch this child. I used to be a soap opera fiend, so I used to watch this show called One Life to Live, and it was laid on there Vicky Buchanan, and she had multiple personalities. And so when you leave the little girl, you develop a new personality that doesn't have to deal with maybe the molestation or maybe somebody who talked really ugly to you or whatever those things were. But when you start seeing me, when I say when you see me, you see me. Now I have to say that even with the baggage, even with the ugliness, like Regina said, good, bad, or ugly, it all comes together to make me who I am. And when you can embrace that, that's when the power kicks in. That's when the unstoppable kicks in. So Tina, come on and tell us a little bit about You See Me and who Miss Tina Wynn Bridges is.
So y'all see me. I am Mrs. Tina with Bridges. Yeah. And it's a little touchy for me because loving myself came along with seeing myself. And we walk around sometimes so blind to what's right in front of us. We take on so much of the world and the world's views, the world's opinions, but what are we seeing? You know, and sometimes we skip right over ourselves. And as I began to tear into those layers of seeing myself, yes, I am that little girl that got off that little bus with all the other kids. I am that girl that mother was addicted, father was addicted, in and out of jails, in and out of rehabs. I was that little girl. All the people who cast me aside was nowhere near compared to me casting myself aside. So when I started to say, Tina, you got you through that, how could I not? How could I endure all that and not love me? I can't see all of that about myself and not love myself. And seeing myself and loving myself is accepting that I put myself in a lot of those situations. I talked the worst about myself. The things that people said to me was only a confirmation of what I already was saying to myself.
Girl,
You
come
know,
on, Tina.
confirm what I already felt. So now I'm mad at you and I'm deflecting it onto you because I was incapable mentally in that moment of dealing with what it was that you was dishing at me. So it wasn't until I started dealing at them layers. I didn't want to see nobody but me. I don't care about the world. And today, to God be the glory. I'm not gonna let y'all take me there because y'all almost took me there. But to God be the glory because I get so emotional. I don't see nothing but me. That's the only person I see. You can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. I see Tina. I see what Tina's doing. I see where Tina's headed. I see the promised land for Tina. And what you see is you're just a piece of what I see. You're just, oh,
Look.
Girl,
Mm.
I'm telling you, Tina.
It goes too deep and I lose people sometimes. So everything that I see and everything that I know is not even for y'all. Y'all just getting an inkling of what I really see. So sometimes people feel like, oh my God, well, that's her view. Nope. And let me tell y'all something. I joined the I Love Her movement. I don't know, for those of you who do know, I was put out of my home last year because my credit score dropped and I no longer qualified for where I was staying. I lost my car, lost my income. I was in and out the hospital twice with COVID. Okay. I wrote that in between homes, homeless on someone's couch. And it was just sitting on my computer. Why? Because for everybody who ever felt like they were overlooked and don't love themselves because society said they don't look this way or because they don't drive this type of car, you're not taking you to heaven. You're taking your soul and your spirit to heaven. So long as my soul get where it need to go, look, we out here killing ourselves for possessions that ain't even going with us when we need to be
Ooh.
love of God. And half of us don't even have that, but we sitting in church every Sunday with our Sunday's best on the front row, preaching, hooting, and hollering, and our soul ain't intact. Our flesh might be all dolled up, but what about your soul? So
What
see,
about?
and loving me came from a soulful place for me. It's spiritual for me because talking to me saved my life. I don't know about nobody else, but I talk to me every day, all day. I have talked myself out of some don't do situations. I talked myself into stuff and life or death live in the tongue. So the same way I talked my way into hell, I'm talking my way into heaven. I
Come
speak
on,
over
come
my.
on now.
I don't wait for people to pray for me. I don't wait for people to tell me what they see. What you see is just a reconfirmation of what God gave me. Because what's for me, God done delivered to me before you ever even crossed my path. First of all, you can't get close to me to tell me what God said if your spirit ain't right. Because like Regina said, I'm gonna squirm. I ain't gonna be able to sit still. We can't even sit in the same space because God got his hands on me. I love her. I love her. I love her. I love her. And I'm done
Amen.
that time because y'all gonna have me go there.
Ooh, honey,
Amen,
listen.
Tina.
Amen.
Just know I love her.
Yes.
Li-
They say
I
to
love
get
her.
to the orange, you gotta peel the orange. You'll never just take an orange and take a big bite. You gotta peel the peelings off the orange, and that's where all the juices are and all the greatness is inside that orange.
More
But
will
you
be.
will never know it
Don't
if
want
you don't unpeel it.
more. Whew.
Let
Mm.
me
Love
tell
it.
you something. I can't wait for y'all to read the book because, and when I dropped it in the group and said, everybody, look at the book and everything, Tina said, when I read Nicole's chapter,
She
it
started
was a,
crying
it,
again.
it was
Yeah.
it resonated so hard. It was done. It was just a done deal. Nicole, what you wrote when I started editing, I looked and I was like, "Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
this is some truth
Mm-hmm.
for some people." That ain't what I said. I said the other word, but that's some truth for y'all. Y'all know I'm going there.
But for camera purposes.
If you know me, you know what I said. If you know me, you know what I said. However, I can't wait. Look, Regina laughing. I can't wait until y'all get it because she started off poetically and then she brought it on in. Nicole, talk about it.
Woo. Well, thank you so, so much. And I am honored to be here. It is such an honor to even be counted among these amazing, accomplished women. So many, I don't know how many doctors we have in the group. I'm just like blown away. And it's amazing to me because, like Regina had said today, I was reflecting on, I'm like, I'm just amazed at where God brought me from. And that was something I didn't really touch on last night. I was like, I have to make sure I touch on that because as a girl that, went through all the things that I went through, The dreams that I had as a little girl were stolen. You know what I mean? When you're in survival mode and you're literally in
You were
fight
in
or flight for
survival.
years on end, you forget, that you even have a purpose, and so and I'll just mention some of the things, that I overcame, and that I know, God can bring anybody through, because I made it through. I'm proof. But molestation, rape, broken home, suicide attempt, depression, anxiety, addiction, divorce, custody battle, like all of these things, grief. I've lost so many loved ones, and to addiction, and in traumatic ways. And so all of that trauma, um, and especially when it starts as a child, it, like you had also touched on, Angela, that, you begin to believe that this is who you are, that
Becomes a
I
normal.
believe that I was only good for being abused. That's all that, everyone would just use, abuse, and discard me. So, the fact that I wanted to be a superstar or a movie star when I was a little girl, and I would dress up like Madonna and want to be a singer, and I had my brush, and, all of that got lost after all of that abuse, all of that trauma. And so the fact that, and then I began to hate myself too. So, because I just thought that that's all I was just someone to be hurt, that, everyone that I ever loved was going to hurt me. The people that were supposed to protect me hurt me in ways that are unimaginable. So that's, I tried to everything I could to numb the pain. And that wasn't the answer. And I had this big gaping wound. No matter what I tried, nothing filled the void until Jesus. But even when I came to Christ, there was still all of that programming in my mind had to be reprogrammed. So all the lies that the enemy made me think, that I wasn't worthy, that I wasn't worthy of love, that no one would ever protect me, no one would ever love me right. All of those things, I had to really come to the Word of God to learn the truth, to replace the lies that I was believing. And so now, I went through a time where I couldn't look in the mirror. I did not want to take a photo because I hated what I saw. I hated who I was, and it hurt to look at me. But now to see where God has brought me, and
And
I'm
tell them about
literally,
your model. She's a
yes, I'm a
model now.
model. I'm an actress. I mean, I'm on the big screen. That's what I do. And I love
Oh,
that,
so
because
Yes.
now,
And
now
she
I
got a
love
diamond on her
her.
finger, on her left finger.
Oh,
And she's engaged.
yes,
So you
yes,
can't tell
yes.
me what God won't do.
Listen, he is so, so good. And I had to come to a place where I love her, every part of her, every piece of her. And I'm at complete peace with myself. And I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful for that. And now being able to use all of that pain and trauma in this story of beauty from ashes, because I was completely broken and God restored me completely. And I'm just so thankful to be able to share this story, to help other women discover who they are in Christ, to be all that God created them to be, that we can all win together, because there are things that you can do that I can't do, and vice versa. But if we come together, the body of Christ comes together, that is when beautiful things happen. That's when we function properly as a whole. And so we don't have to compete. We each have our own purpose. We each have our own lane. And if we just help one another, encourage one another, man, the possibilities are endless. And this group is proof, because actually, Tina, when she commented that, I mean, I was really going through some things. It was a tough day. And that right there refueled my fire. So, the encourager
Yes.
was
And you
encouraged,
need it.
because we all need it. We all need it sometimes or another. And I'm just so thankful to be part of this community. I love you all.
We
we
love
love you
you.
too.
We love you too. I'm
It's
telling
such
you,
a powerful
if
thing.
y'all don't get this book, I'm telling you, if you don't make sure, if you need some fuel, you need some mindset, you need some shift, because we all over here telling you I love her, but we still got some work to do too. Don't we
Oh,
not
yeah.
sit here and acting like we have arrived.
Right?
I'm all about I love her. Yes, we're all about I love her, but we still have some stuff.
Yeah.
It's still some skeletons. It's still some stuff that we still uprooting. And the blessing about God is He don't make you do it all at one time. He just let you do it piece by piece by piece by piece. Cause he know if he pulled it all up, woo, we could not. So I'm telling you, you better get this book.
The thing I love about it, Sparkle, is that in creating the I Love Her movement, a lot of times God gives us visions, and when it's a true vision, it's more than what you think you're worthy of tapping into. You're already looking at God sideways, like, well, I know you ain't bringing this to me because then I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into these people with all this. I'm not trying to be the spoke. I ain't trying to be out front. I just want to be back in the back, girl. I don't even really want them to call my name. My feet hurt, my back hurt. I don't feel like doing nothing. I really don't feel like putting no lipstick on to get on here and talk about something. I'm just really not even trying to do that. I just want you to give me some good money where I can go and buy what I want and do what I want.
And go by my business.
God, why I got to be the one to have a vision to carry out. But the fact that you heard all of that, felt all of that, thought about where you came from, and questioned whether or not you were worthy and still gave him your yes, that is a game changer. And we say that for Sparkle because she's the visionary of the movement, but in every woman, we have a story. In every woman, we have something that we've done that we're not proud of. In every woman is something that we have felt like I'm not qualified for it. And I laugh all the time when they talk about men. Let's just shift for a second. Y'all know that they say whenever you're applying for a job, most men will look at whatever the description is and whatever the qualifications are, and they may not hit 10 out of 10. They may hit 3 out of 10, and they say, girl, I'm going for it, and I'm going to apply for this job, and I'm going to get it. Most women will look at the same type of description and say, I don't have I don't have that, so I'm not going to apply for this job because I'm not qualified.
We will talk ourselves out of anything.
We will talk ourselves out of anything. Men don't have that same level. So that's why sometimes, you see men, they show up a different way. Because they already have that mentality that I'm out here to conquer and win. So I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And then not second guessing what John is doing, what Michael is doing, what Bob is doing. They ain't looking all over at everybody because they're looking at it like, I'm going to go here and get this job.
Get this paper.
We're second guessing. We're looking at somebody else. We're measuring up to see where we fall into the line. And each time we do that, we do ourselves a disservice. So at this stage of the game, it's always should be a yes. Can you cook that? It may not taste like yours. It may not even look like yours. But I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have. And it's going to be okay. We have got to get to a place of self-acceptance. That's what I Love Her is. I accept myself, whether it's where I want to be at or not. I accept who I am. I accept what I did. And I'm authentically going to show up as me. And what I do like about Sparkle, if y'all haven't followed her on any of her other platforms, she brings that mirror out. Do you have the mirror, Sparkle? There's your mirror right there, baby. Bring the mirror out so the folks can see. Looking in a mirror.
Look in the mirror and gonna tell yourself.
Practice. Listen, find you a mirror, baby. We went to something, baby. I got a small mirror, baby, because if I ain't doing nothing else, and I'm gonna just tell y'all how crazy I am. I have a mirror here. In front of me is a mirror right here, plus this little bitty one that I'm looking at right here, and I probably got about 5 or 6 of them in all these millions of purses that I have. Listen, get to a place, Regina laughing, get to a place where you can look in the mirror, because do y'all realize there's so many women who cannot look at themselves in the mirror? It's a challenge for them to look at themselves in the eye and say, I love her. To say, girl, you look good. To say, you gonna
I
get
love
this
my
job
nose.
today.
I love my lips. I love my ears. Why? Because God gave them to me, and He made these ears the way He made these ears. My ears aren't supposed to look like yours. My nose don't supposed to look like yours. Because that's how unique God is.
Exactly.
My lips are supposed to be whatever size that Tina's is, because that's how God made us. Because He is so crafty. Like Nobody is the exact same. Nobody.
Nobody. What Keith Sweat say? Nobody, baby.
Nobody, baby.
Nobody. So let me go back to this Sparkle. Sparkle speaks into the mirror and she does affirmations. Tammy puts up post-it notes. Tammy, can you speak a little bit about how that has helped you in your journey to loving yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually talk about it in my chapter titled "You Deserve It" in the book. Affirmations, especially though, if you speak to millionaires, there was an interview done by Oprah Winfrey years ago. She interviewed three millionaires, I think Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and someone else. And she asked them all about what they do first thing in the morning. And they each said meditation or healthcare. Because if I have all this money, I want to spend this money, enjoy this money. So I got to make sure this is good. And then they talk about going into business stuff. They don't even deal with the money and the stuff of life without making sure that mind is good first, because your mental health is just as important as your physical health. It's just as important. Your emotional health. You wouldn't walk around with a broken leg. So we shouldn't walk around feeling like we're going to lose it and go postal any minute now. There's help. And so the affirmations, the stickies that I have all around my mirror say different things. One says, I am enough. Can I tell you how much that helped when I went through that divorce? And it's interesting that those of us who are seen on any type of platform, or we're in executives or have a business, whatever it is, that people immediately draw judgment that we got it all together. Immediately. So I can appreciate Nicole sharing her rawness. I can appreciate Tina being really real and telling the world this is where this is coming from. You might not get that in the chapter, but I tell folks all the time, just because you don't know my story doesn't mean I don't have one. Exactly. And the thing that I appreciate about the I Love Her movement is that every voice matters. Every voice. I was coaching a beautiful lady in Africa earlier. She's in a village and she's dealing with gang issues in her village. This is totally different than anything I know about. I'm American suburb girl. This is what I know. But for those of us that do service, it's not about us. It's not. It's about taking time to pause life to help someone where they are. And a lot of times it's just listening. A lot of times it's presence, it's being there. And I don't want to make a left and go somewhere else, but I want to just emphasize the value in this book is to remind us of our worth, and that every single voice, whether you speak American, English, did you hear me? Did you hear me say American? English, whether you
slide on, girl.
so thank you, other language, whatever your ethnicity, background, whatever your differences, we're all one human race. One human race. The blood is still the same. Listen, outside, whatever you look like, medically, your heart, we're all heart pumping hearts, we're all muscles, we're all skeleton, we're all made of what God created us to be in his image. And so I'm grateful for an opportunity like this to hear the rawness of other people's story. Nicole, a lot of your story is mine, but folks don't know that. Because I use my platform to motivate, to pour out. Very rarely do I open up about me because I am in a position where I know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm also not on the big screen. And I don't know that you want me to be Miss Nicole, so you go right ahead on and do your lane. But yes, affirmations are so important. And not just in the morning, definitely in the morning. I want to say this. I have them on my mirror because while I'm brushing my teeth, I look up and I see God's got you. While I'm brushing my teeth, I see the words to this song when I was really dealing with haters a few months ago. There's a song that Jill Scott sings, and there's a verse in her song that says, if I had a peach garden and pulled the peaches and made you a peach pie, it still wouldn't be enough for you. It still wouldn't. So her chorus says, go ahead and hate on me, hater. I got all that on my mirror because I needed to see that thing when I knew I was going to be dealing with folk that had no good, and I knew they were going to be looking at me across from the board table. in a board meeting, ready to take stance in opposition. So I just needed to remind myself that's what they do. So why am I owning that? Let them be who
Mhm.
they are and you go be you, boo. So that's why the affirmations help me.
Mhm.
Powerful. Now I'm gonna switch over to Regina again because in reading the book, for those of you who aren't familiar with anthologies, a lot of times, the anthologies are all about a common theme, and in this case, we're all talking about our journey to loving ourselves, right? Self love. But the expression and how everybody wrote their chapter may be set up a little different, right? And
Mhm.
so it's the same concept, the same thought process. Regina chose to do so in the format of poems that she wrote. And so, Regina, what made you choose to bring poetry into your I Love Her journey?
Because wow, poetry, I love music. There's and it don't even have to be with words, but poetry I did as a young child when you're in a traumatic situation and you're talking yourself to protect yourself. And I would find myself repeating and repeating and saying different things to break the fear
Mm,
inside of my head.
hmm
And nobody really knows this with my family, but I used to have a problem stuttering. I would talk too fast. And
I can
so,
see her
I
talking
was
too fast.
able to, through poetry, I could say it and it would just flow. It
mm,
would flow. And so poetry to me, when I brought it, it was still musical. I didn't have to be defeated in my words. And so when I
Mhm.
decided to do poetry, I wanted it to be where I celebrated in the same way that I'm bringing it forth, that it doesn't have to look like what it really is, that even in my poetry there's still beauty within it, and
Mhm.
there's grace within it, and there is pain within it, but the way it flowed and the way it moves, that's why I chose, because you know what, in this season I'm poetry.
In this season, I'm poetry.
this season, I'm poetry, baby. This Regina is showing herself.
Isn't she?
I am
She
stealing
gonna get
that,
a
Regina.
spanking after this.
Is
I'm
showing.
stealing that. Just want you to know.
Yes.
Stealing it.
Hey, drop the mic. Let me cut her mic off because she is done for the night, baby. Because she
Exactly.
is doing it. You hear
From
me?
the beginning to the end.
From the rooter to the tutor, baby. She is not playing. I love it. I love it. So, Nicole, let me come to you because throughout the beautiful chapter that you put together, you spoke about some ways, the things that you do that help you on your journey to loving yourself. And I think for some people, that's where they get stuck because you feel
Mm.
like, I don't know what to do. How do I love myself? You know what I'm saying? I hear you. I want to love myself. What does that look like? And you put some things in there to tell people what you do that brings you peace, that helps you see the beauty in the ashes. Can you share a few of
Mhm.
those things with the people, to help them to start shifting how they show up for themselves in this space of loving her?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I'll definitely go there, but I have to start with coming from all the trauma and all of literally generational curses. And so the coping skills that I used were what I've seen, generations before me and all of my family use. So the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, all the unhealthy things I was doing, that were essentially making me sicker and sicker and sicker. I had to cut that out. But that was literally all that I knew. So I had to start with prayer and asking God to help me, to hunger for what is good for my body and my spirit. And so he began to teach me then and to reject what was bad for me, right? Because I was addicted to all these toxic things that were just poisoning me and poisoning my mind with that negative self talk. But that was just, when you hear that, growing up, and I was the chubby girl, and all of these things. And like you said, like that becomes your self-talk, that becomes your narrative and what you believe. So I had to retrain my mind and realize that I was worthy of more, that God had more for me, that he wanted more for me. So of course, getting into the word a lot. And for a lot of people, they say, well, I can't read, I don't like to sit and read, or I just don't have time. You know what? There is YouTube. You can literally put on something that will read the Bible to you, or at prayers, like hours and hours of prayers, just to get that into your spirit. That's the first step, is you need to replace the lies with the truth of God. So hearing the word, speaking the word, reading the word, meditating on the word is key. And that's what I love. As I read through each chapter, each person's chapter, I'm realizing that there are a lot of similar scriptures that we all stood on. So even though we all have our own story, our own voice, our own way of conveying that story, God's word is the same. And it's the same for every single person. And it works for every single person if we work it, if we believe it, if we speak it. It happens, it manifests. That's the word of God. And so I love that so much. So those are huge: prayer, meditation, just spending that time with God, and praise and worship, getting into some music. And sometimes I might just be feeling like an instrumental, or, so just music in itself is something that I love. Taking walks, getting active, anything I can be outside with my sons doing. So anything, like the way that I like to see it is anything that is productive and proactive and beneficial is a yes. And so sometimes it might be self-care, might be taking a nap. Sometimes it might be a spa day, or sometimes it might be doing a deep dive and some introspection and saying, you know what, I'm not feeling really great. What is going on? And really just looking inside. So, self-care can be luxurious, but it can also be like really getting into some nitty gritty and some very uncomfortable and even painful places at times when you're doing that deep dive and when you're uprooting some things. But it's the hurt that heals rather than the hurt that kills. So it's necessary. So we have to take those spa days and do that. I just try to be very aware of what my body, my mind, my spirit, my soul is needing at the moment. Because when you are, I'm an inspirational influencer. So through the being an author, the acting, the modeling, every single thing I do, I always try to point it back to give God glory and use it for him, for the upbuilding of his kingdom. So I don't take every acting role, and I won't take every photo shoot, because I want to glorify God. And that's what it's about for me. But yeah, definitely, I always am like, what is good for me, I'm going to say yes to. What is bad for me, I try to say no to. But again, we're all a work in progress. And man, it is breaking curses. It is breaking cycles. It is an ongoing work. But I did not want my children to have to battle everything that I battled. I want to teach them a better way. And so that's my goal. So yeah, whatever, the walking, eating healthy, eating whole foods, all of those things, getting active, but always, every single day, I'm a work in progress, and I'm trying to be better than I was yesterday, spiritually, mentally, physically, relationally, financially. We have to see to the whole woman. So that's what I'm doing. I love, love self-development. So I do a lot of videos like that, podcasts like that just anything where I'm growing and learning and being more self-aware.
I say love all the time. Make yesterday jealous.
Yes. Make yesterday
all the time. You gotta make yesterday
that's so
jealous.
good. Yes. I love it.
Just evolving and developing. And so, Tina, that brings me to you. You smiled when Nicole was talking about personal development. And so I know you're into, and I know I'm gonna probably jack it up, but and from you see me to building bridges with self-development, with growing and evolving and going from what's familiar to what's not. Talk about that a little bit as it pertains to your chapter and where you are in life on your journey.
So That's exactly what I had to do to see myself. I had to build a bridge and find a way to overcome that. And the only way to do that is by being self-aware, by reflecting on you, by no, because otherwise you can dig yourself out, but you'll keep falling back into that same hole. You have to know what it is that got you into that hole, and the only way of being aware of that is to be aware of you. Self-awareness, like Nicole was saying, it's about digging into the layers underneath you. We can all doll up the outside of us, but does that match how we really feel in the inside? Because it's the prettiest people with the ugliest spirits. They don't feel that way on the inside. So that's what they're covering up on the outside. So I was one of those people who hated everything about myself because of the things that I've done to myself. And it wasn't until I became self aware, Tina, it's you, from the pills to cutting myself. It's things about me people don't know. They just see me wearing a smile. They don't know, like you said, to look in the mirror. It's sometimes, do you know what it takes? My you guys have stickies. My thing is in the morning to breathe. Sometimes I have to just sit on the side of my bed from 5 a.m. when I wake up to a good 5:30 and just breathe, because my mind is racing so fast, processing so many thoughts. I have to slow them up, because otherwise I'm going to go out in the world and start taking on all the racing thoughts of the world, because
Mm-hmm.
aren't in order, then what happens when you're not in order? You take on anything that comes at you. So sometimes it's one breath at a time for me. What comes easy to others don't come easy for everybody. So you may wake up loving you. You don't know what it's like to wake up and everything about you hates everything about you. And you have to sit and really fight through those thoughts and talk yourself out of those thoughts. Not love me after that. I just spent 3 hours talking me off the ledge. I better love me. So
Right.
it's a process, honey. It's a process. A daily process, like you guys said. I have to do this daily, because I could talk me off the ledge right this second and then wake up in the morning and I'm on that ledge all over again. And I'm like,
Mm.
girl, what you doing right back on this ledge? Because see, that's where the self-talk come in. And I gotta talk myself right. And sometimes I gotta talk myself off that ledge 5 and 6 times a day. Because I could go to work feeling all nice and happy, and then like Tim, you said, here go that hater. She mad. So now she ready to deflect and ruin my day. And if I'm not mentally stable, guess what? I'm gonna fall right in that trap. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna fall in the circle with her. No, you got it. When they say dress with armor, honey, that means from your head to your feet, you gotta put on the armor of God, because you will be, people will, people, if you let them, they will take you on a tailspin if you let
Yes. And you know what? I'm glad you put it all into that perspective, because the chapter I wrote was 12 steps to loving her, right? And I equated it to the 12-step program that people go through with Alcoholic Anonymous, or, when you're dealing with drugs or with any type of abuse. The 12 steps is a program that is utilized to help people in their recovery journey to be able to get support, and then to be able to, just do a systemic type of way to help you overcome what you're dealing with. And I wanted people to understand that when you don't love yourself, when your self-esteem is low, in order to cope, because we all have coping mechanisms. You think about
Mm-hmm.
babies when they cry, some of them suck their thumbs, some of them, rock themselves, or they cry themselves to sleep, but you do different little things to soothe yourself. And for some, it is alcohol. For some, it is drugs. And for those of you who say, I could never, you may be sexually addicted to something.
Mm-hmm.
You may be addicted to self-talk. You
Mm-hmm.
negative self-talk. It's because it's familiarity. It's comfortable. It's a space that, you're used to, so you don't try to get out of it. But I said that, look at yourself in the journey where you are, and think about what have you done that has put you in an addictive space that keeps you
Mm-hmm.
from loving you. And then start incorporating things, self-compassion, self-awareness. Start taking some time being kind to yourself. Start
Mm-hmm.
doing some things to help you to get back into alignment with who God called you to be, who he created you to be. And understand that addictions sometimes, you know what they say, it can always you one trigger moment away from taking a drink, and people can be sober for 12
Yeah, for
years and
years.
that it can happen, and they're just like, I just need, pour me up something and take it on back like it was nothing, and you start over again. So that is what it is. Again, it's a conscious choice every day to love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
wherever you are in the journey. And you look at all of us, we're all on the spectrum of our journey. And it can be like Tina said, one minute I'm on top of the world, the next minute I'm on the ledge trying to talk myself off. So don't beat yourself up. Give yourself grace. But
Mm-hmm.
Sparkle, as you look at this, as you look at what God has given you, how do you feel?
We're at the end, and I'm not gonna do that, but
No.
I know,
it
right? I felt like I was like, oh, I probably gut punched the girl. Don't cry. I don't have the
yeah,
tissue. You know how they do at the church. Look, Alicia, give your mama some tissue. She about to cry.
it's just when you sit and you think, God, you chose me, and he comes back and say, why not you? When he reminds you, why not you? Because a yes to myself, that I took a chance on me. I took a chance by saying what God had told me. I took a chance and threw it out to you women. And y'all came back and said yes. Because I was like, God, I do it. But if don't know, we come with these compromise. Okay, I'm gonna do it, God. But when nobody don't show up, then I did my part. I did what you told me to do. Then they started showing up. Then I got like, okay, God, really? We really gonna do this? But this shows me that the real, if y'all follow me on anything, I'm in a guaranteed lifestyle. It's guaranteed to work out. It's guaranteed. And that means no money. I don't have to worry about returning something, because it's a guarantee that it's going to turn out. And once you have that guaranteed in you, you might go back and forth with God for a second. But then when he reminds you again, when you look yourself in the mirror and he tell you who you are, you say, yes, sir. So just to know that people are on the journey and on the mission to help others, because this was all it's about, is everybody taking somebody else's hand. You take somebody else's hand, and then we're gonna make this chain so the enemy, the negativity, it can't come through, because we all wrapped around each other. This is a love circle where we're just wrapping around to prevent you thinking you gonna get in. Because God already put, before you could even say it, Angela, I have already told Angela what to say to you. And that's what is it's so strong, knowing that God got us. That's real. The real is God got us. He has us. And he's just rocking us. And then he'll throw us out there. Then he come back and cuddle us up again. I'm like, okay, go again, girl. Then he bring you back and cuddle on you and love on you and embrace on you. It's a love that can never. So I love each and every last one of you all. I thank God for each one of you all. That's why my lashes are gone this week, because they've been having a hard time. They've been struggling for a long time. They've been struggling. Angela dropped the book and the lashes just said, please, baby, what you doing to me? We just got to put on. So I might try to do it on Friday. But right now, they just can't do it. So if I look a little, if I've been looking a little crazy, because this girl this week has been a different kind of week for me. If you notice, I haven't been doing all that screaming and hollering because I'm still in awe.
Right.
I'm still in the awe. So just give me a little grace. I'm coming back. She ain't going nowhere. But it's the grace that God is keep showing me over and over. If he'd do it for me, he'd do it for you. If he'd do it for you, he'd do it for you. If he'd do it for you, he'd do it for you. No respect of a person.
That's good. That's good. Ladies, we are slightly over time, but of course, this is my thing. So, we can do what we need to do. So it's all good. I want everybody to give them while Sparkle is getting herself together. If you want to say, I want y'all to just, what would you say to somebody when it comes to this book or about loving themselves? Tammy, I'll start with you.
I will first say, learn how to unmute your mic when you gotta speak. Listen, I am moved. I remember in one of our meetings, I actually said the words, this is going to be a movement. It's going to take the whole planet. Because one thing, God is love. They know who we are by our love. And I believe that elevating love can conquer hate.
Mm-hmm.
Love can unite. Love can lift. Love can shift an entire atmosphere. It can stop divorces. It can cause healing. Love can have instant forgiveness where you're like, honey, don't worry about it. Keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Love is so powerful that we can't even understand the depth of it because it's God.
Mm-hmm.
So I would that folks consider getting this book. If for no other reason, then it's a book of hope. And we live in a time where there's enough hopelessness. You can't cut on the news. The kids go to school and have to learn how to shelter in place. Carjackings all over the place. There are wars going on. I interviewed a lady the other day who had to flee her country, leave everything that was bombed. So her existence is just trying to find water, the basic necessities of life. And I took an opportunity to tell her about the book, told her I'm going to make sure to send her. That while you're out here trying to survive, let me give you some hope. And I just need folks to know, wherever you are is not the end. Don't give up now and decide to quit. Let this journey. Listen, if you don't read the book, join the the I Love Her Nation. Get connected with other people. That this is how we talk, is how they talk all day. I had to cut off my notifications. It was pinging so much with so much hope and support. But one thing we not gonna do, sis, is quit. So take right now in this moment, whoever you are, as you hear each of us and hear how important you are, and know that we love you. We just need you to love you too.
Ooh, come on and drop the mic, Regina.
Okay. I just want to encourage you guys on tonight, but this is a must. This is a book that you must have in your library. It is going to be transforming. It's very transforming because us women have been through some things, and for us to get to the place where we're at, the power of the anointing that is on these different chapters. Each one of them is divine for you. The minute that you lay your eyes on it, the minute that you start receiving it, there is going to be a transformation. Guarantee you. You know why? You know how I know? Because it did it for me. It transformed me. And when it can transform you, the one that is projecting it to you, then it's healing. It's healing to the body. It's going to be healing to the mind and soul. And this is a blueprint for you guys. If there was ever any doubt in your mind that you're not worthy enough, that you will not be able to come out of your circumstances, the devil is a lie. Because you can, but you know what? You will. Because once you set your mind and say, you know what? On this day, I choose to love myself. I choose to love her. On this day, I choose to love her. That is when you're going to see the breakthrough. Literally. And we're here for you. We're not just leaving you here alone. This is not like, okay, you buy the book and we just ghost you. No, there ain't no ghosting over here, baby. We here. We in it. Hey, we in it to win it. We're not going to let you slack. If there's anything that we could possibly do for you, we're going to do it to our capability. And as long as the Most High wills it, hey, we're here.
Amen. Tina?
I would encourage everyone to read and buy the book because, for everyone who's done too much to give up or felt like they done too much to go on, love covers a multitude of sin. Let love be the bridge to get you over it. Just love on you. You ain't got nothing else in the world to look forward to. You can look forward to at least you love you. Think you love. Let you be the only.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Nicole, last but not least.
My message is a message of hope that I want to let every woman, even man and child that will ever see this know that you are worthy of love, that God loves you, that no matter how you feel, no matter where you're at this moment, it might feel like rock bottom. It might feel like you're too far gone. But if there is breath in your body, then God has a plan and a purpose, and there is still a work that only you can do. The word of God says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in his likeness and in his image, and he does not make trash. Anytime we look down at ourselves or we don't like something about ourselves, that we are God's work. We are his workmanship. We are crafted by him. We are a work of art. There, you are one of one. That is powerful. Nobody has your fingerprint. Nobody has your voice. Nobody has your plan or purpose that God created you for. So let us give you this instruction manual so you don't got to feel your way through the dark. God has given each of us a work to do, and we are coming forth, and we birthed this thing, and it was not easy. So let us put it into your hands, and you will not regret it, because there is so much wisdom, so much goodness. God really, really brought these women together to give you a blueprint, to give you the instruction manual, to help you love yourself so that you can better love others, so that you can walk in all the blessings that God has for you. He has so much goodness for you. So just believe that. Just open yourself up to it. And that's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all. Listen, I want to say thank you, ladies, for taking the time to be on here. This is 6 of the 12. And so, y'all know if it's like this on this end, the other 6 are going to be bringing it as well. So that means that all 12 stories will have something in it for somebody. So, get the book. It releases out tomorrow. We're going for the bestseller campaign. So that means that the ebook will be available, a digital download, $2.99. We need your support to hit that number that we need so that we can get that sticker to represent the fact that it was a bestseller. So make sure, if you are watching us now, if you know somebody else, because I mean, at the end of the day, any woman can benefit from I Love Her, from this anthology, because they're going to see themselves in it. So share it, buy a couple, buy 10 of them or 20 of them, and send them out to people that you know need to read about how to go from not being able to look at themselves in the mirror, not feeling loving towards themselves, not giving themselves grace, or not treating themselves kind, to get into the bridge they need to cross in order to see themselves so that they can love themselves. Because I guarantee you, when a woman loves herself,
Mm.
it makes the world a more powerful place to be in. So that's it, Dr. Sparkle. I pray that God continues to bless you and continues to give you ideas on how to move forward with this movement. It is a powerful thing, and I'm grateful that you were obedient enough to open it up to everybody to come in and do this piece of it. But it doesn't stop there. Sparkle has a lot of plethora of things to offer
Absolutely.
when it comes to this movement, and so it doesn't stop here. This is the beginning, but even before then, she was doing amazing I Love Her events, where you can come in, and each one is unique. Each one is where you cut off your phone, honey, because we're not doing that. We're coming in here because we're coming for a purpose. And so I love her energy and her spirit and her desire to see us all win. So with that being said, ladies, y'all have a great rest of the night. Get you some sleep, because we're going to be busy tomorrow telling our people in the world
Yes,
about
I'll
the
be
I Love Her
it's
Anthology. So listen, y'all have a good one. See you
Good
soon.
night. Love you.
Love you too.